Bro Break family, how's every single one of you? Welcome to another episode of our show. This time, like always, covering NXT UK. We're happy that you can join us, and let's talk about this, Paul. What do you feel about this NXT UK that had a good main event? Like a Heritage Rule Cup match, great rivalry between Charlie Dempsey and the A Kid. And we're gonna be talking about also what's gonna happen to the winner of that match, because I feel that the next progression for that, it will be a NXT UK Championship match. But I feel overall a pretty okay version of or episode of NXT UK.
Yeah, you would almost say one of the main focuses of this, besides obviously the fantastic main event we're going to talk about here in a little bit, was just a lot of NXT 2.0 stuff. We had two matches, that featured 2.0 guys. We saw, a promo hyping one up. We're probably going to see, I don't know if that's next week or maybe in 2 weeks. But, a lot of focus on that. And I feel like that's kind of where the show has been hurting. And, we've been saying that since the inclusion of these. I mean, Roderick Strong, he was great. We had no problem with that. But when you bring over a lot of these new guys and girls and stuff, it's just, they don't seem to fit too good here. But, a great main event, saved this show. The stars of NXT UK are still here, and they're still producing.
Exactly. So, family, let's start from the beginning. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, help us out. Getting more traction to the channel. Mark Coffey opens the show against a guy that we know, and we know him as a loser, and that's SAXON HUXLEY. Wrestling ability probably not quite there yet. I feel like the guy has his own moveset, all of that, but he's more recognized with the crowd because of the character that he has. But I don't think that we never seen anything different from SAXON, and I think that's hurting him, because remember how we used to compare with even Bruiser Brody and all of that, but other than that, he hasn't done anything. And in the end, Mark Coffey gets the win, because I think that they're trying to really give them a single push right now.
Yeah, and you touched on, you said two things that I want to touch on here quick. Is just the crowd. That's the one thing I heard. Mark Coffey comes out. Yeah, okay, cheers. SAXON HUXLEY comes out, and the crowd's into it. Whether it's like the No Way Jose thing where they're just into it because they can get involved in it, it doesn't matter. The crowd noise, when I hear the crowd cheering a guy, you go, okay, you got to listen. You want to pay attention, see what's going on.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, the guy seems more over, and he's good. And the other thing, Bruiser Brody, Nigel McGuinness even said it too. He's like, he kind of reminded us all like Bruiser Brody, the way he was all, just savage and crazy when he challenged Walter. When Walter came back, that was like one of Walter's first matches when NXT UK started back up after, when they took a break from COVID and everything. So, he made the same comparison as well. And now the guy loses here to a sliding clothesline or sliding forearm to the face, and he just gets pinned. Hey, I like Mark Coffey. I'm fine with a singles push, but you're telling me you couldn't have had some little jabron, some little, 190-pound guy he can just throw around, beat up in 4 minutes and done? It has to be HUXLEY? Come on.
Yeah. No, that's the problem.
That's the only thing. Especially when this guy's this over. If HUXLEY came out and the crowd was sitting on their hands and didn't give a shit, that's one thing. But he's clearly, the fans like him, so do something with him.
Exactly. No, there's just something that you can do with the guy. And Mark Coffey can go anywhere. He can beat anybody else, but not at the expense of SAXON, that he barely has a little bit of time. And when he has it, then he loses. So that was the beginning. Like you said, Mark Coffey gets the win. We'll see what happens with Joe. Comes back. Wolfgang also.
Yeah, but I think they said with Joe Coffey, I might be wrong, but I think he had to get some surgeries too or something, or he's resting up. So storyline, he has to go away, but it's really so he can just rest up.
So remember, we said that Ivy Nile asked for a match for Tomeko Satomura for the NXT Women's Championship. It was confirmed in 2 weeks. We'll be seeing this match happening. But like you said, they don't have anybody built for Mako. So hey, why don't we grab a girl on NXT UK or NXT 2.0, give him the chance, and she seems kind of tough, so maybe she can dance with Meiko Satomura. I'm not looking forward for this, because there's no way that the title is going to change hands. Might have been good opportunity for Ivy Nile, but she could be released anytime. We never know. So
yeah, she's one. She's one which, I'm not as hard on this as some other people are, but the only thing I really think is bad against her, well, two things, but one is because she's new. With the promo, but like I said, that she's new, but the main thing I'm saying is the size. But you can't help how tall you are or short you are. But she's short, but in the ring she looks impressive. Obviously they call her the pit bull or whatever she looks like, and she's super muscular and everything. But I think this will be good with Meiko Satomura learning. Hopefully she's learning something while they're here for a couple weeks and everything. Or however long. Obviously, they tape a bunch of these, but we don't know how long they're going to be here in the UK.
They're probably back in the States, yeah.
But, hopefully she learned something. and because she's one I do think has potential.
Oh yeah.
If you can overlook her being short, because if you put her in the ring next to somebody like Charlotte Flair, that's going to be like so.
And also,
that's gonna be like,
if they don't release her by the time that they actually decide to push her. So something that is going to be also next week, we're going to see Von Wagner and Sam Gradwell. The promo was not annoying for me, or actually I thought it was actually pretty good. They had the Gradwell matches of Wagner and same thing for Von. So it was good, the back and forth. I really liked the promo.
I agree with you on that first statement, and I think that's because of the guy here on your right. I think you got to say Sam Gradwell. He sold this thing. He's watching Von Wagner. He's like, yeah, I see you. He's like, you pretty much moving there like a dinosaur. Like you have, you're big and strong, but you have a little brain. You're a big dumb dinosaur or whatever. He's just making jokes at him until he sees him pick up Ike Manjiro, throws him into the crowd, and then he sells it. He's like, oh shit, So okay, that to me sold Von Wagner more than anything Von Wagner ever, sold about himself. So that, like you said, that was the one thing you go, okay, he's selling it and he's so good. And I feel like the thing that we're going to talk about here with Amelia McKenzie, unfortunately, we're probably going to have to talk about with Sam Gradwell because, they push these guys, and that's the one thing I don't like.
Especially
Gradwell's too
good. You have
good.
to do jobs on your own show, though. That's the one thing I don't understand.
I would love. If you're going to do something,
I would be like, okay.
If you're going to do something, have this end in a DQ where both guys are just beating the shit out, or a double count out. They're beating each other on the outside. Have it be a feud. Don't have it be that, he comes in, Wagner, and just beats him clean 1, 2, 3 and just done.
Exactly.
Get something out of it. Yeah.
No, I really don't like that. So like you said, you want to talk about Amelia McKenzie. Remember LASH Legend, that was supposed to be the match for this week. And I think Amelia here got robbed. They make her do the work. I mean, Amelia is actually not bad in the ring. The only thing she likes is character, like personality. I mean, she's really good. Like, we only know her as Meiko Satomura's like apprentice. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That demand, she's mentoring her. That's all. But like Lash Legend, we know that she has a talk show on NXT 2.0. It's the first time I actually see Lash fighting, and in this one she actually gets the win. I was actually very disappointed on this because I thought Amelia was gonna just like.
No, yeah, she's not. She's not very good, and the only time I've seen Lash Legend wrestle is just when I'm watching GIFs and Nikita Lyons. But that's a whole different conversation. But anyway, here, I mean, no, she's not good. And clearly, I think they sent a couple people over here to try to learn something to get better, because they have the trainers over here. They have these great talents over here. So they're like, hey, we'll send these, a couple of these guys over here, and maybe to boost ratings and whatever. But anyway, no, Amelia carried this match. You could clearly see that she was the one she was either on the offense and, selling, telling Lash Legend what to do, this and that, or she was selling for her and making Lash look like a superstar. But I mean, no, this was bad. And then the spot where Lash didn't even kick out, it was a 3 count, and the ref had to stop, and she kind of like shook like she was like in the middle of sleep and just like had one of those
I think when she did the spear, I think that's when she did that.
And it was so bad. And I almost thought, well, maybe this was supposed to be the win. I wish it was like the old days where the ref just counted the 3 count no matter what to protect the business, so at least Amelia could have won here. But no, then Lash wins, and it's just. I mean, like I said, she was robbed, but I mean, you could smell this coming a mile away. This is the same thing as the Sam Gradwell and Von Wagner match.
Yeah. At least they didn't do it on this guy, so I'm sorry for Amelia. She'll have more opportunities. We're waiting for what? After Ivy Nile, then maybe Amelia turns on to Meiko. And then what? What will she get from doing that? Character. She'll have an opportunity. She's doing things for herself. So that will be the Amelia that we want to see, because the ability is there. What can Meiko also feature? What else? Nothing. So this guy doesn't need an introduction, like Noam Dar, Heritage Cup champion, and Shah Samuels. It was good, at least because what they did, they protected the brand, they protected their company or their side of the things. They went with like Damon KEMP. I don't know if he's still working for WWE or if he's released. I don't really care. This was just, I was hoping for Shah to win.
I think he's still there. I don't think he was one of the. They didn't release anybody for a couple weeks now, so
I think
he's still there.
That won. That was good. I mean, he needed Noam Dar's help, which I didn't, appreciate. But at least Shah won, and NXT UK got 1 out of like these 3 or like these 2 matches. To
be honest,
promotional matches, whatever.
To be honest, I really didn't think. I thought it was going to be a clean sweep here for 2.0. I thought they were just going to steamroll these guys, because they don't care. They're like, we cherry pick the guys who we like in UK, and the rest are exposable. But no, he actually got the win here. I don't mind them cheating. just because, you know, they're heels. I
need to
understand.
win.
I
A win is a win.
understand. Yeah, win is a win, and you want to protect this guy, whatever. Damon Kemp's not bad in the ring. All these guys are awful promos. Lash Legend sucks. Ivy Niles sounds like she's nervous, like she's giving a speech in the middle school.
Oh, graduation, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that doesn't sound believable. Von Wagner says the exact same thing every time, and Damon Kemp's not good either. And he comes out there and he's smiling. He goes to like shake the hands and like, you know, slap the hands of the fans, and they're like, because they don't care about these guys. You know what I mean? It's like, you're just here to beat up our guys. We don't care. But no, I mean, yeah, Noam Dar, he took like the scarf or a rope or some kind of string, whatever, and kind of like tried to trip him up. He got distracted, and then Charles Samuels, you know, he got the win here. So I mean, this was good. Hopefully not a feud. I don't want to see another match with this. You know, let Damon Kemp move on to something else or whatever you're going to do.
Now, let him move back to the States.
Yeah, exactly. Because to be honest, yeah, I'm not enjoying any of these. Ivy Nile, you know, the verdict's still out on that. That match could be pretty decent. Mako could bring her to a good match, but I mean, I haven't really enjoyed any of these besides Roderick Strong.
At least the main event for next week is going to be really good, because we're going to see for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships, we're going to see a triple threat. We're going to see the Familia, you know, like for finally going against Mustache Mountain, and also like, you know, the guys, you know, we've seen this match before.
Smith and Carter,
and you know, Smith and Carter, you know, these guys are like, I mean, they seem to like they should win because of the many opportunities that they have. I wouldn't be surprised if La Familia wins. Also, that would be cool, but I feel that like this will be the time that like Mustache Mountain is going to drop those titles. I'm excited about the promo though, because everybody touch upon little things. Oh, the ice is everything. Oh, like a desperate man, you know, like they make mistakes, and also like my Trend 7, you know, like, oh, they're not really getting along. So all those things are really important for like what this match is going to be.
This was great. They just talked about, like I said, it's all like their family, you know, because De Familia, it's obviously in the name. Mustache Mountain, they're like, oh, we're like brothers, and the same thing. Smith and Carter say the same thing, and you know, but De Familia, he's like, why does everybody paint us as the bad guy? I look out for my family. How does that make me a bad guy? You know, what the heck? Like, no, we're legit.
Tio Man is
and then he pretty much says, you know, that, you know, he doesn't lie and cheat, you know, with his family, like, you know, like Trent 7, you know, like I said, he deceives Tyler Bate, and you even see then you know, Trent, then it goes back to them, and like the whole thing, I'll do anything to win. You know what happens if I lose these belts? That line was even said. It's like, does he retire, or does he retaliate against his, you know, partner? You know, so hey, I agree with you. I mean, to me, it's like, it's a win-win. I would love to see De Familia win, really get them over. But I think Smith and Carter is that feel-good story, too, because they finally get the chance. But I do want to say, those two teams, neither of them should be the ones that get pinned. You got to pin somebody. You got to pin somebody from Mustache Mountain, because don't throw one of these two teams in here just to have them eat the pinfall. That hurts them, because both those two teams need to be elevated.
Are on the rise, whereas Mustache Mountain is on the low, because like what do we want to see? We want to see the feud between Trent 7 and Tyler Bate. That was good. Let's go to the main event. A-Kid against Charlie Dempsey, Heritage Cup rules. We thought that like the match was going to be like this, you know, a lot of technical submissions, a lot of technical wrestling throughout the whole thing. Even like the Heritage Cup rules called for that, and they gave us a pretty good match towards the end. I mean, that was a little bit of Eddie Guerrero towards the end, but I feel that like Charlie gets the first fall, really cool. You know, more like of the submission, more like just like bombs, suplexes. That's his style. A-Kid want to go faster than that. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the first, I really liked it in the beginning. Like you said, almost the ending, I don't want to say I hated or I disliked, but we'll talk about the ending when we get there. But I mean, the first two rounds, great. You know, it came down to, you know, A-Kid had the momentum at the end of the first round, but no, time ran out as he, you know, had the pin fall on him. So, you know, no pin there, you know, and the same thing in the second round. It's like, oh, you know, they're so close, and the action is so good. Like you said, the technical, the submissions. And then I love in the third round, like we said, this is one that we're not going to go move for move. This is one you go watch. This is one you can't do it justice talking about the moves. You got to just go watch it. But I love when Dempsey in the third round, when he gets the submission, when he locks that in, he don't even lock it in, because that's the whole thing. He goes to like lock his hands, but A-Kid taps out before he really gets it locked in. And just after the match where Dempsey goes like this, he's like, I didn't even have it locked in. You already tapped out. He's like, you're a pussy. Like, what? Like, what's your deal? And like, he starts jaw jacking. They get in each other's face. And you see an A-Kid, but then A-Kid, you know, he comes out that next round, you know, and he gets a pin there, right? Or is it the
he got the pin there.
Fifth round? Yeah, because you know, just that big kick to the face, and Dempsey sells it so good. And I mean, like you said, now things are picking up. Now things are cooking. And, you know, then the submissions and everything, and Dempsey's selling it, and you almost think, okay, you know, are they really going to push A-Kid? How are they going to get out of this and everything? And then, you know, Dempsey grabs the towel, and the rest like, what the heck are you doing there? Like, he's not going to throw in the towel. Is he, you know, what's going on here? And then, you know, the ref's like, oh, okay, you know, he's getting rid of the towel. Dempsey pulls out these brass knuckles, throws it to A-Kid. A-Kid, you know, babyface completely. He goes to the ref.
Hey.
Well, it's not even that where the ref goes to DQ. He like goes to the ref. Here you go. I'm handing these to you. They're not mine. Legit. As soon as he hands them to the ref, boom, clocked in the face. You know, and then what did he hit? It's like
he did a suplex with the bridge.
Yeah, oh yeah, but he locked it. He does that like that's where he locked it. That's what it was. The suplex. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. And you know, Dempsey gets his second pin. So again, a little bit of cheating here. Maybe in an hour-long show, you don't do 2 heels to cheat in the same thing. I mean, it's not that big of a deal for me, but I mean, this was a good win for Dempsey. I mean, they're gonna have to have a third match, I would think.
Probably.
But then you would think A-Kid has to win. So I mean, I don't know. Does A-Kid really win
the end of it?
I mean, I don't know. I would have liked to see maybe a complete clean win here. But I know you don't want to bury A-Kid or something, so we got to see where this goes. But this was a great
especially
main event.
Because, like you said, like they brought A-Kid back because he actually was on NXT 2.0 for like a few weeks. He beat one guy, and then the other weeks, like he lost to everybody. But here for Charlie Dempsey, the next destination is clearly Ilya Dragunov. You got to do it. You got to do it. The guy comes from like.
I mean that, or the one thing who, and I hate to say it, but and what the hell, we saw him at ringside like a stooge. Noam Dar with the Heritage Cup. That's been sleeping for how many weeks now? We haven't seen.
Then probably, or Charlie goes after that, and maybe Charlie becomes champion. That wouldn't be bad.
I mean, to me, if you have Dempsey as a Heritage Cup and you have Di Familia as tag champs, that's pretty legit. Cool. Because I'm gonna say, if you do Ilya versus Dempsey, that's too soon because Ilya would have to win.
Now, well, yeah, but I mean, at least you get that opportunity. Because see, for example, A-Kid had one. You know, like Jordan had like a few, so maybe I'm just saying, but like if they want to go to the Heritage Cup, I feel that's okay too. But like he needs to go after a title.
Yeah, because I mean, Dempsey is the clear star, and all that of the group. But I think if he would be champion and be in Di Familia, that would be like if the show was called Robin and Batman instead of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
You know, that would be like the sidekick
before Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah, that would that would be like the sidekick is better, but yeah.
We'll see what happens. But like like I said, like the main event was really good. Few little mistakes right there, or like things that we were like just spoken. It's not the end of the world. But don't forget, on Sunday we're going to be with Double or Nothing. Jean Paul, myself. We're not sure we're going to go live from that, but we're going to be talking about everything that happened there. Adam Hangman Page, CM Punk, and we're going to have a new AEW champion. You know, Thunder Rosa with Serena Deeb. Jean Paul says Thunder Rosa loves to smile. Doesn't really care if she's going to win or not. Also, like the Owen Hart tournament, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, and then we're going to see Britt Baker against, I think it's Ruby Soho in the finals for that, or Chris Statlander. That's going to be on Rampage, and then we'll see that on the pay-per-view. Emily, thank you so very much for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and where else can they find us?
And make sure you follow us, Road Break on Facebook, the OG Road Break on Twitter, Original Road Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Road Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...